Today we're going to look at the software that we can use for virtual productions. There's basically two pieces of software we need to look at. One is the 3D rendering software and one is the controller software. As far as the 3D rendering software goes, there's two that you can choose from. One is called Unity and the other is called Unreal Engine. I'm going to discuss these two pieces of software. Both of them produce excellent results for virtual productions. So it doesn't really matter about quality-wise. They're both excellent. What you need to decide is which one is going to best suit your needs. So to start off with, Unity is probably the easiest of the software to get started with. If you've never had any experience with 3D software or gaming software, Unity might be the way to go for you. It's going to produce quicker results for you. Unreal Engine is more complex software, but there are a few things of why one might want to choose Unreal Engine. One of them is that it comes with a lot of free things, which is always a bonus. One of the things it comes with is there's a company called Quixel that produces high-resolution textures and high-resolution 3D objects which are scanned in from the real world. These textures and objects are free if you're using the Unreal Engine. If you're using Unity, you'll have to pay for those. The other free software that comes with Unreal Engine is called Metahumans. Metahumans lets you create realistic looking human figures, fully rigged with facial animations and high fidelity textures that you can zoom right close in to, for instance, their eye. What did we go with? I guess is the question you're asking. We ultimately went with Unreal Engine for a couple of those reasons. Obviously, the free textures and Metahumans. You know, a small studio like us would have no chance of creating realistic humans, fully rigged and animatable. That's just something that we weren't even going there. But with this Metahumans piece of software, that's going to enable us to have photoreal human beings in our 3D environment, which is a bonus. The learning curve is a little steeper, but that's all right. I have a background in 3D animation, so I'm sort of in that space a little bit. And my son, who is driving all the real-time graphics, he's actually, one of his studies he did was that he was doing game development, and he actually has made a small game. So he's used to gaming software. So between the two of us, we figured, yeah, let's go with Unreal Engine. You know, we're going to put in the time to learn it. Well, my son Anthony is, and we'll just go that route because of, you know, we're getting free high-resolution textures, the Metahumans, and also the difference between the two software. Unity is probably more geared towards making short films, you know, computer graphic films, where Unreal Engine, they're really pushing towards the virtual production. Now, saying that, Unity will work perfectly for you. That is not an issue. The end results of either of these two platforms are going to serve you well. It's how, you know, how are you going to get those results? Unity might be the way to go if you have no background in 3D animation or even gaming software. The other piece of software that you will have to use, regardless of what 3D engine you're using, is Steamvr. Now when you install the hardware, so you know the controllers and headset, Steamvr will automatically be installed as well. You'll need to set up an account with Steam, and then Steamvr will be downloaded. What does Steamvr do? Steamvr connects the hardware, whether it be a controller or the camera tracker we have here. It connects that hardware to the software, so either Unity or Unreal Engine. There's a couple things you need to just be aware of when you first start booting up Steamvr. Is the first thing you want to do is turn on all your base stations. So one of these guys up here, turn those base stations on, and then turn your headset on. Let that all connect. The next thing you want to do is turn on the controllers one at a time. So the basic mechanics of this is, if I push the button, the light will go blue. It will start flashing when it's trying to connect, and then it will go green when it has a connection. So plug in your controllers, turn them on one at a time, let them connect one at a time. Now lastly, if you're using a camera tracker, same thing here. Press the button, you'll see a blue light go on. Press and hold the button, the blue light will start flashing, meaning it's trying to connect, and then it will go green when it has a connections. Now once you have all of those connected to Steamvr, the first thing you'll probably need to do is update all the firmware. What is firmware? Firmware is the software that's inside of this controller. So it's a matter of just going to, for instance, let's start with the headset, update this headset. So we just go to the controller, we go to the headset, click on update device, and that will update for you, and go through all of the devices one at a time, updating them. Now when it comes to the base stations, the base stations have to connect via Bluetooth. So your computer will need to have a Bluetooth controller in it. Now, depending on how far away your base stations are, you may have them fixed in the ceiling. You're not going to be able to easily pull them down and bring them closer to your computer. So you may need to have a Class 1 Bluetooth controller. Class 1 Bluetooth controller will send a signal over 100 meters. A Class 2 Bluetooth controller will send a signal over 10 meters. So make sure you get the correct Bluetooth controller for your setup. If your base stations are further than 10 meters, you will need to get a Class 1 Bluetooth controller. Now once they are all updated, update them one at a time as well. It's a good idea to rename the base stations. We've named the base stations Channel 1, Channel 2, Channel 3, and Channel 4. So we have 4 base stations. So we've given them those labels so we can identify them. And you might want to just put a sticker on the actual base station itself, so you know this is base station 1, 2, 3, and 4, etc. Now when it comes to the tracker, we can actually label this as well. It's not necessary, but I like to do that just so if you have a second tracker, you'll be able to know which tracker belongs to which tracker. Now that's as easy as going into the Steam VR menu, going down to settings, clicking on controller, manage Vive trackers, and we click on that and it says tracker role, and we can just give that a role. Obviously we've named our one camera. If you have a second tracker, you can label that something else. It's not necessary, but I like to do that so I know which tracker belongs with what device and where they are. So that ends this vlog on the software. So you've got a couple of options there, Unity or Unreal Engine. You'll need to decide which one you go for. Either will produce excellent results, but in the long run it comes down to what is going to suit you best. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for another episode.